Hey, this is Matthew, and welcome back to Nerd News Today. Today we've got another statue review for you guys, and this one is coming to us from Diamond Select. This is the first installment in their Mortal Kombat 11 Gallery diorama pieces. So these days, Mortal Kombat does have a pretty fair amount of merchandise. They've already got action figures from McFarlane Toys, they've got the Storm Collectibles figures, and there's some more higher-end statues from other companies, but now Diamond got the license, and they're starting to produce more affordable pieces that you can collect. And this here is the debut piece in their Gallery diorama series, because we've already seen one of their larger scale busts, which I think is out now, of Scorpion's head, which is made of resin. But this one here is a PVC diorama piece of Sub-Zero. But is this statue cooler than ice, or is this just some hot trash? Well, let's go ahead and find out. And first things first, let's talk about this packaging here. So it's the typical Diamond boxes. It's got windows on all of the sides, so you can see into the packaging, as well as the classic Diamond sunroof. But the question here is, why does a piece featuring Sub-Zero have Scorpion box art on it? Well, I'm guessing this is just the aesthetic that they're forced to go with due to Warner Brothers, because that's usually how these things go, is when a company has a license, they want all the stuff to typically match it as much as possible. So I'm going out on a limb here and saying, much like what's been done with the Star Trek franchise, the Mortal Kombat franchise has to have the same look, same box art across the board. So yeah, I do wish it was Sub-Zero on the packaging. It doesn't make much sense to me to do it with Scorpion, because we're going to see him on all of the statues in the line, I guess. So that's their prerogative, though. Doesn't matter much to me, because I'm taking him out of the box eventually anyway. The back of the box gives us a look at what our Sub-Zero is going to look like once he's out of there. We don't have any bio at all about him. It just tells us that this is a statue made of PVC. Whoop-de-doo. I was kind of hoping for a bio or something, because normally the statues do have that. Maybe they're moving away from it. Maybe they're not doing it with this Mortal Kombat line. We'll have to see what happens with the next pieces in this series. But as of now, no bios. The back of the box does give us the credits, though, and this piece was designed by Nelson X. Asensio and sculpted by Salvador Gomez. I don't think we've looked at anything from Salvador Gomez before, and what I can tell from peeking at what's inside this box, I think we're going to be in for a real treat with this team. But that's enough about the packaging, because, yeah, we're not here to stare at a box all day, so let's go ahead and get Sub-Zero out of there and take a look at him from all angles. Alright, our Sub-Zero is now out of the packaging, and I am immediately blown away by this piece here. This is a real next level piece, I gotta tell you guys. Again, going back to the fact that we haven't seen this pair work together before, this is a group of artists that I want to see continue to make more things. Because, man, is this a gorgeous piece. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to ECW Joey Styles. I'm a little speechless by how good this is. So full disclosure, I'm not exactly the biggest Mortal Kombat fan out there. I play the games casually at best. I'm not very good at them, but I like the artwork, I like the characters, I like the toys. I mean, I own a few Mortal Kombat Storm Collectibles figures, because I just think they look really cool. So I might be more of a casual collector, but I'm still someone who can really appreciate the artistry in these characters. And for the serious Mortal Kombat fans out there, I get the feeling this is going to be me at the end of this telling you guys to buy this one, because, man, it's really great looking. So yeah, let's just start number one with the thing that pops out to me the most, and that's the use of different plastics and the paint here in this piece. So you can see here, obviously this is a PVC diorama piece. It's going to have acrylic paint in it, whatever. The paint job of Sub-Zero himself is really nice. It's very clean looking. I like the weathering in his outfit here, the blue parts of it in particular. I like that there's some really nice highlights, in fact, added to the black of his outfit here. There's some gray highlights to put in there. Same with his pants too. There's a few gray highlights just kind of dabbed in there very lightly, but it does help it pop a lot. And it looks great from the back too. I love this fold right here. I mean, the back of it looks like he's wearing parachute pants, but still, it does look really cool. We're never going to see the back of them anyway, so let's just turn that back to the front. But yeah, there's lots of good little highlighting here. Very simple, but very effective with this piece because of the two-color look of it. But what's really, really exceptional to me is the fact that they've used this clear plastic with the painted plastic here. This just looks so good together. So you guys can see here in the arm in particular, he's basically like changing his anatomy and his physiology to be snow, to be ice, as he's doing his moves here. We can see we've got this ice whip traveling across his back and through his arm to go out of his hand. And you can see here, it's like starting out as clear, it becomes more blue over here. Same thing with the other hand as well. You can see that it's kind of almost, in fact, a little bit more grayish over here. And then it shoots through him to become this very icy blue color. That is beautiful. Like, you guys who watched this channel before know how much we love translucent and transparent plastics. Case in point, if you check out that Godzilla statue review we did not that long ago, you'll see how much I raved like a lunatic about the water in that piece. This is very much similar, except now that water has become ice. And the ice effect here is just so great. And especially in the base, what I love is that it's kind of got a frosted look to it that makes it look very realistic. Again, that comes down to this kind of highlighting that they're using on the pieces here. Because that base, by the way, yeah, that's a knockout base also, gotta tell you. And that comes down to that icy, awesome look that it's got. And yeah, I think the statue is very much all about that ice. That is kind of a gimmick, but it's not just a gimmick like a single piece of translucent plastic, like let's say the various power blast effects we'd see in an Avengers Civil War or Endgame statue that we've looked at in the past. No, this time around, that translucent is very much integrated into the piece to make it a part of the statue, and it's very effective. This is just beautiful, man. I think you Mortal Kombat lovers are going to really want this piece just based on how cool all this ice effect looked across the board. Now let's talk about texture a little bit too, because texture is fairly important. And with Mortal Kombat characters, the thing that always worries me about them, and we've seen this with the toys, is that normally it'll be very flat. Like their pants will just be plain old fabric that you get in like a martial arts uniform. This especially would just be quilted, but there's not that much of a look you can give to a quilted fabric. In this case here, they've done a good job with what they've been given, and they've added some texture even to the pants, because the pants do in fact have a texture to them. It's kind of got this little pattern in there that is really cool, and it helps to deal with the light as well. And when I say that, I mean it helps to better give the statue form, because now you've got something for light to attach into, as opposed to, let's say, if it was just a flat piece of fabric, if it was just one tone, it would not be that visually interesting. This time around, there's places for the light to go into. There's little nooks and crannies that can help us pop out and give it a little bit more form. And in the case of this upper section here, where there is still texture, but not nearly as much actually, again, they're kind of using it in that way to highlight what's going on in that body, and that makes those pieces pop and look much more realistic. Same with the hood, and even with the quilted fabric here, again, quilted fabrics are not the most exciting or visually interesting, but each one of these actually kind of has some little things going on inside them that help make it look more realistic, help add some layering for lights and highlights to go into. Very simple things here that they've done, but very well executed, and that makes them look very strong together. I very much like the face sculpt in this piece too. You know, we're talking so much about all the other elements in this statue here that we're neglecting the face. And that's because it is, of course, obscured by his mask, but it's very lifelike how it is wrapping around his face. And I think the look on his eyes in particular is really perfect. Like, this is Sub-Zero clearly in the middle of a fight. I mean, we already knew that from the pose, but the eyes even more so tell us how intense this fight is meant to be. And I love the paint job on it. Now, yes, you can see there is a little bit of schmutz. There's a little bit of mispaint on the side of his face, but the face is actually two-toned, in fact. There's actually like a highlight layer, a base layer, you know, and then some darker shades. So they've actually given some importance to that little bit there. I like that very much. Coming up soon, we're going to be looking at a Batman piece where one of my complaints was, in fact, how the mouth just doesn't have anything going on. It was just very much two-toned and very flat. This is what I wish they would have done with that piece, and give it a lot more depth, a lot more detail to it. And even that, same thing too with the arm. There's just like some more tone going on in that, and that helps make it look more realistic. It helps add to it a lot. I think the pose is perfect here. It's a very expressive pose, very strong pose. And because there is so much going on here with the energy effect and with the base, it has to be a little bit more neutral. But again, it's a triangle pose, which is one of the stronger shapes in art. And it's very well balanced too. You know, despite the fact that it's pretty much going up here, our eye does kind of connect over here to this part of it. And the color also helps tie it together and make it a very unified piece. So this Sub-Zero piece, I think, is an absolute must-buy for Mortal Kombat fans. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't liked any of the toys McFarlane has done so far for Mortal Kombat. It might just be the fact that I don't like how the modern characters look in the game nowadays, as opposed to this more classic style. Because for me, I really do prefer the classic look. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get those figures, but I just didn't like them at the end of the day. I think these diamond pieces are going to be way better for you classic Mortal Kombat fans out there, because it's got the original looks of them, and they've got some very cool effects, at least for this one here we've seen. And we do know that there are two more on the way coming out, I think this year at least. I think Katana is going to be next. She's going to be a little bit more plain looking. I don't think she has any kind of energy effect with her. And I believe we're going to get a Scorpion as well before the end of the year. He's going to have his harpoon and some fire. So I'm very excited for that Scorpion. And what they do beyond that, we'll have to see. I'm hoping that these three initial pieces do well enough that they keep making more Mortal Kombat characters, because I want to complete the line. I want to get some more interesting characters too, because there's so many great things they could do with this line. And on that note, I'd love to know who you want to see Diamond do next in this Mortal Kombat statue series. Do you have a favorite character who you want to see immortalized? Let me know who it is, and let me know what you want to see them doing. So yeah, at the end of the day, I love the statue of Sub-Zero. I think it's great. I think you're going to think it's great too, and I suggest you pick one up today if you're into Mortal Kombat. And if you'd like to get one for yourself, why not visit your local comic book store? Or if you want to order it from Amazon.com, use our Amazon affiliate links in the description below. If you dig this Sub-Zero statue and you like the content we're making here, why not give this video a like and subscribe to the channel? We do all sorts of toy reviews, statue reviews, comic reviews, and a lot of other stuff coming soon. So make sure you're part of the community and sub to us today. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This is Sub-Zero from Diamond Select's Mortal Kombat Gallery Diorama series. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching.